sometimes people do things and they don't like doing it,
I love your random thoughts. Yeah, go on.
right? And you think, why is this happening? Why does everyone do this, right? So I see one the other day. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Now, no one likes singing happy birthday,
No.
and no one likes being sung happy birthday.
Are we talking about your daughter's party at the weekend?
Well, just in general.
Because I'm not going to lie, I couldn't catch the flow. As everyone's singing, I've either gone too quick and then I slowed it down and I was too slow. And I got quite a booming voice. I'm pretty sure I ruined the song.
Yeah, but no one likes it. Everyone gets embarrassed. No one really wants to sing. Everybody sings out of key and just half-assed anyway. Makes you like, why are we doing it? What else from like birthdays do we not need to do?
And then the old hip hip hooray, like as if the song weren't enough.
Candles on cakes. Why is that happening? Why are you putting fire into my food and then people are just spitting on it to put it out? Why not just light a candle on the side and I'll blow that out?
I'd give you that, especially toddlers' cakes. One, don't put a flame in a toddler's face. And two, they can't control the saliva that comes out. So they're like, yeah.
Do you reckon it's worse if I got a lisp? Might be.
And they're thick.
Yeah. Or it has that Harry Kane. Imagine going to his birthday party. He's blowing out the fucking candles, silly cunt.
Harry, is it your birthday today? No, yeah.
He's been more worried when he fucking spits all over the cake.
Or Jamie Oliver. Don't ever eat Jamie Oliver's sizzling sausage recipe because that is half saliva.
Yeah.
Nice random thought. Anyway.
Yeah, not sure why it happens.
Welcome.
Been a while. Yeah, been a while. 1951 was the last time we did it, I think.
It fucking feels like it, mate. What have you been up to in the old interim periods?
Barbecuing. Been doing a lot of barbecuing.
Yeah, you've got very alpha male with that recently, ain't you?
Yeah, so I've taken over the cooking duties. Done the cooking duties. Interesting one this week, trying to cook in windy conditions. I had more like ash going in my eyes than over the food. That was nice.
Joyous, though. This weekend was the first one, because usually I used to always get bitched for not eating enough. I'd have like a burger, maybe one of your mother-in-law's cheesy jacket potatoes there, Joy, right? Fucking weekend just gone for your little girls. Oh my God. I think I stood next to you with the first plate of food that came out with like every piece of meat on it.
If you can see it coming off, it helps. I'm getting good at it now in terms of the more I use this barbecue, the more I know where my hot spots are and rotation of shits. I don't think I particularly burnt anything this time.
No, mate, your halloumi game's on point, not going to lie.
Halloumi was all right. Always leave that to the end because it just burns so much. But
but usually, like, people forget about it and then it's fucking charcoal by the time you're like, oh shit, yeah, I've still got some barbecue.
That's the key. You turn often. Don't just do this half cook one side, half cook the other side. It's many and often.
Hi, Joe Ramsey.
That's the secret. And I'm at that age where I got excited that I was going to say custom. It's not custom. Just barbecue tools that come in a zip-up pocket.
Yeah, I noticed your little
silvery and nice. Yeah, man, I'm all over that. So yeah, I've been doing it's barbecue season, isn't it? It's summer. I've been doing some of them.
And you've been on holiday. I remember seeing you at a barbecue a couple of weeks ago and was checking out the tannage.
I did, yeah, did the family one over to Menorca. Very nice, we love it. I thought I was being all Billy Big Bollocks, so I like cigars when I'm out there.
Yeah,
and I bought cigars for the wedding. I was like, yeah, brilliant. So laid the cigars out. Lighter next to it. Took a photo, sent it. Cigar sorted for the wedding boys. Text back. There's 5 of us, dickhead.
How many did you buy?
4.
Quick run back to the shop.
The thing is that like they're bundas, like they're big fat bundas. Like, yeah.
Sorry, they're not called bunda.
No, I know a bunda.
You know a bunda is a big batty girl.
Girl. But yeah, big fat. So you're not going to smoke it all to yourself. It will get passed around.
It's one of them that you like just carry most of the time, isn't it? Two puffs, let it go out, flick it. It's a sign of authority holding a chunky cigar.
Yeah. But I normally get one over there. It's so cheap, man. Like £4.50 for a pack of fags.
Oof.
I was lighting fags off fags.
Mate, it's like £13 here.
Yeah, nuts.
A day, bro.
And these were like Embassy Gold.
Is that an expensive brand?
Yeah, it's like premium.
I'm a basic bitch Sterling kind of man, like cheap as chips.
Yeah, I never got this. You pay all this money for cigarettes, but you smoke like the shittest ones.
Because it's going to cost me another £3 to have a Marlboro Light.
I think if you're already paying double what I am, then go whole hog. More interesting things happening in the wider world.
This is probably my only source of news that's happening in the world right now. But I have picked up a couple of bits. First one, dirty BBC presenters.
Something needs to be done about this mob.
Wait, I don't know enough because I heard it was with a 17-year-old who was sending in pics, and then someone else told me it was a boy that was sending in pics, and I'm like, right, okay, that changes things slightly, but not much.
To give him his due, I actually don't think he's broke the law on this one. But if you had this amount of concentration of wrong-uns working for one corporation, there'd be a fucking proper investigation. Like, you'd be breaking that shit apart, being like, why are we breeding fucking pedos here?
It all started with Savile, didn't it? And then they started fucking rolling out of the BBC.
Somebody up higher in the BBC is banged to rights somewhere. He's on the fucking Epstein list, I tell you.
One of the high. Who was it? Greg Dyke?
Yeah, he used
That
to be
seems
one.
to ring a bell.
He fucking sounds like he should be involved.
Do you know what I mean? I reckon he was the old Epstein of the BBC.
They're definitely something, mate. As I say, it's too many of them. Like, and it's weird how it's the ones that are being uncovered are like the family guys. Obviously, we've had Scope lately, haven't we?
Yeah, again, don't really know enough about that. I just know that, what was it? It was someone he got a job on the show and they were a young teenager and then he's fucking them since they've turned 18.
It's a question of morality, man. There's not actual laws that have been broken, but it's like conduct should shit be happening.
I mean, if you had a grooming Olympics, he's putting the fucking long game there, isn't he?
Yeah, he'd do all
Do you
right.
know what I mean?
We'd do all right, I reckon, as a country. I reckon we'd be medals table.
Well, America's not bad. The old Kevin Spacey going on at the minute.
Medal table. Yeah, but he's specific, though, isn't he?
Well, he was like he touched someone romantically, was the quote he said. Wasn't offensive, wasn't unwanted. Like it
Mate,
was
he's been throwing dick
reciprocated.
around for years. Everyone knows it. Every time you go out in the West End, Kevin Spacey's there, Spacey's there. He's going to be throwing some dick around. Everyone knows this.
Yeah, I totally agree with Dave Chappelle. I'm fully against it. But if that motherfucking victim waited another 6 weeks, I would have seen how a House of Cards ended.
Who would be the worst person in the world to be exposed as a pedo?
All right, there's got to be boundaries on this. Is it a national treasure you're looking for?
Anyone?
Because Attenborough would kill me inside.
Well, no, I'm just like, how famous do you want to be?
I mean, he had access to tribes all across the world that no one had ever had contact with.
I say this because you keep seeing fucking sketchy shit about Biden popping up.
Yeah, but
Well, moody stuff, man. Like he was sniffing girls' hair and fucking whispering in her ear this weekend, and it's just odd.
he's like nearly 90, isn't he?
Yeah, mate.
Maybe after that, is him leaning in, is him falling over and just regaining balance. The prick keeps falling downstairs, like falling over on stage when there's nothing in his way.
How does a man like that get elected? And we've been hearing some shits about that family lately, where his son just fucking doing what the fuck he wants.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
it. That's how
Hunter
I
Biden,
want
innit?
my ridiculously corrupted politicians' siblings to behaving. Driving along, filming themselves at 150 mile an hour, smoking meth. That's what, banging prostitutes, losing laptops, doing coke at the White House. That's what I want from my siblings. Not fucking Obama's kids getting 180 on a GDP or whatever it's fucking called. I don't know. That's how low.
The GDP.
To be fair, give him his dues. He's done well considering he's married to a man.
Yeah, can't do a worse job than Trump.
You didn't even get that, did you?
Get what?
I just went right past you.
What?
Obama joke. I was like, he ain't done bad considering he's married to a man.
What do you mean he's married to? He's Michelle Obama.
Yeah, a man.
Oh wait, no, you can't say that. She's not bad looking.
For a man?
Where is this coming from? You're saying it like it's public knowledge.
Nah, it's one of them things where if you want to find out enough information on something, you'll find it on the internet. So is it there or was it placed there? But yeah, that's one of these mad conspiracies that he.
Fuck. Sorry,
she's actually a man.
No, I've never heard Michelle being a man.
Yeah, certainly. There's evidence. Evidence.
I want to see it in court, like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, like Kevin Spacey now. I want to see a higher profile.
Do you remember that?
Oh, mate, that was fun.
Amber Heard, that was very entertaining, wasn't it?
Objection, hearsay.
And what we heard from her since? Fuck all.
I know. I heard something the other day that she's like quit Hollywood. Bitch, you ain't quit Hollywood. No one is giving you a job.
Hollywood quit you.
Yeah, innit? You made a mug of yourself. Tried to mug off Johnny Depp, the one that everyone loves.
Yeah, that was good. It grit the world, didn't it? That sort of shit.
Yeah,
Everyone
man.
liked it. We've had another recent one. There's always some shit that comes out and it tries to distract you from other stuff. You had all this stuff going on in the White House with Biden and his son and all that. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, there's a submarine with billionaires and multimillionaires floating around in the ocean about to die.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, and it because it costs like stupid amounts to take this trip to go and look at the Titanic, like
it's
100
so off.
grand.
It's so off key. The whole thing, so off key. I mean, bare shit about the safety, but this is another conspiracy. There's always a conspiracy involved with something.
I did see, I love my stand up. I see Paul Chowdhury do a bit literally within the week that it came out. And he was like, what, too soon? Right. But apparently, obviously, we found out that they'd died and it all gone tits up by everything floating to the surface.
Yep.
So all their bodies and all that. There was a PlayStation controller, PS5 controller.
Yeah.
I take Paul Chowdhury's point. What the fuck? You're on a trip to go and look at the Titanic and you've got a PS5 in there en route. Mental. How the other half live, mate? A PS5 in a submarine trip.
Are you for real?
What do you mean?
Do you not know the actual story?
No.
All right.
Oh, fuck's sake. Have I just mugged myself up?
You just fucking don't mug yourself. So,
What?
yeah, no, they didn't take a PS5 down there. They didn't take fuck all down there. But this geezer basically knocked this submarine together in his backyard. They made bits, made that. He controlled it with an adapted Xbox controller.
Ah.
That's how he controlled the cunt from inside with this fucking thing
Okay.
that he'd adapted. And they reckon it was so shoddy anyway. They said without even going into the water, they reckon they fucked it just by trailing it out to sea. They took it out on some shitty raft.
Right.
And it was quite rough seas. And there was at times where the waves were coming over and smashing into bits. You just
More
wouldn't have got on
for
it, man.
you for getting in that submarine.
You had to sign a contract to say this trip may result in death.
Wow.
And,
Why are you
and the
doing-
company can't be held responsible. Like
And
you're
why-
taking it on.
Why are you paying 100 grand for that?
Because you get to go down to the sea, the Titanic, man.
In a fucking water balloon.
Yeah, but if money's no object to you.
But, mate, I don't care how much money you got. Your life is more valuable. 100 grand to properly risk it with this tin pot prick that's made his own submarine using a controller. Nah.
I don't see how we got away with it. There were so many violations and so many health codes and stuff that like I just don't understand how something like that can operate.
What goes through your head as you're signing the waiver to say you could die?
Probably part of the fucking side of the submarine. Couple of nuts and bolts, PlayStation controllers.
Fuck, mate, bring your own spanner kind of trip.
I'll go right through your head. Bringing it more closer to home. Something amazing has happened over this weekend.
Okay.
I'm not talking about Declan Rice finally signing for Arsenal.
I did think you was going to football route. Go on.
Jeff Stelling
Yes, yeah.
is now going to present the breakfast show on TalkSport.
Oh, I did not hear that.
Yeah.
That's a great appointment.
How
Laura
good is
Woods is
that?
out. Sky Sports ditched Stelling.
How good's that? I don't think she would have been right to do
Saturday, yeah.
She wouldn't have been right for that. But he's a brilliant person to bring in for something like that, radio.
Yeah.
Man, his shows are going to be so good.
And he's got people to banter with like Alan Brazil, Ali McCoist. Oh, them two are going to be gold.
No, I doubt he'd be on at the same time as Brazil, but yeah,
Ali McCoist and Jeff Stelling are going to be
Well, he's
fucking
gonna be brilliant.
radio gold.
gonna be
Right,
brilliant.
so you've sorted out my next few years. Thank you. That's my morning's done. That is my little religion. I wake up, put the kettle on, go for a fag, come back in, Alexa, TalkSport.
Oh, yeah.
So everyone knows by now we've got this little WhatsApp group. Right, I'm going back over a month, but well worth it. Swedish women's football team were checked to see if they were women by showing themselves to doctors.
What year was that? Well, the reason I asked what year it was because I don't think it was recent.
Either way,
Yeah.
you've got to flash the gash to play for the women's team.
That's absolute madness because it like I know they worry and they go, oh yeah, like anybody could come in and just take their tits down, do whatever, shave their legs, play. But surely you know people who are in that squad.
Surely there's records. Like, even with the kids' football, you have to get a copy of something.
Maybe it's just a Swedish doctor who's just like,
Yeah.
let me see your beaver.
Right. We need to get back on track. Right, we've got shit to work through. This one blew my mind. Major finding on Saturn moon boost hope for finding alien life nearby. So on this Saturn moon, it's a ice outside, and it's a water planet inside. And there's like, like solar flares come out of the sun.
Hmm.
There's like jets of water that pierce through the ice and go out into space. And we've analysed that shit that puffs out, and it's got phosphorus in it, which is like a key component for having life.
What one would you want to live on if you could?
What do you mean?
Planets.
It's got to be Earth-like, but better. Like every scenery is like New Zealand or like Scotland. You see the mountains and there's a little village there. With ice caps on the top, and it all just looks beautiful. The air's nice and clean because we didn't fuck it up.
Could just go to New Zealand, couldn't you? Fuck that, I'm going to go for full nuclear planet. I'm having a Star Wars shit going on.
You're going Death Star.
I'm going Death Stars, fucking floating vehicles.
I'll make your own planet.
Crazy shit.
That's something else.
I won't care about like damage to the ozone. That's in another galaxy to me.
Well, if you're building a Death Star, then surely you're building your own atmosphere around it. Therefore, if you fuck it up, just go and build another one, isn't it?
I see something the other day, right? Did you know the tide doesn't go in or out?
It goes up or down, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it doesn't technically go in or out. All it is, it's the Earth axis, and it's the water bulging. So as the water spins, it's drawn to a certain part of the moon.
Yeah, the gravitational pull.
Yeah.
I've seen some shit the other day, actually, as I was looking through. There's points on the Earth, like in oceans and stuff, where the sea level is just like a little bit lower than the rest of it. So they looked into it, and it is because of gravitational pull. So they're like really strong parts of gravity from the moon.
Yeah.
And it's literally like a mini kind of, it looks like a puddle
low
inside an ocean. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, man. How funny have we both read up on that shit? So that's space news done. Obviously, as we've said, let's record a podcast. I'm like, right, you need space news. What else? Chinese news.
What came first, chicken or the egg? Space news and some dodgy Chinese cunts.
When it comes to our podcast, Chinese news, I think.
What have they been up to?
It just made me giggle reading the headline. Woman caught with 5 live snakes wrapped in stockings stuffed inside her bra after customs agent noticed weird body.
Now, if I'm a woman, that's not where I'm putting 5 snakes.
In stockings in her bra.
Right, you've got a man-made... Not man-made, you've got ready-made hole to hide shit in.
Snake-shaped.
How big are these
snakes?
snakes?
I don't know. Well, she had 5 of them in her bra. But as a security guard, surely that's an awkward conversation because you're like...
Why's your tits moving?
Yeah, but then you don't want to go over and be like, I was looking at your tits.
And they started wriggling.
Yeah, and it's that awkward kind of... Especially in China as well. Could be a dude.
She could definitely have got the 5 snakes up there. They're not supposed to be that big in China.
Well, the Chinese government or like air control federation, whatever, they
them ones
won't come out and say the reason for her wanting to smuggle them into China. Just feels a bit dodgy to me.
Of course it does.
Feels a bit dodgy. I mean, they would feel a bit dodgy. Imagine gripping someone up and it starts fucking moving.
They're probably trying to splice fucking humans and snakes together, knowing them. Fucking crafty.
So there's your Chinese news.
Don't surprise me, to be fair. Really don't. Nothing surprises me about that country. It's a crazy, confusing world out there. Especially when people are making dogs into tigers and putting them in zoos.
Oh, God, yeah, I remember that.
Sometimes I like something just a little more simple in life.
Go on.
Like a good old debate point, right?
I love a mass debate. Yeah.
So these are points that you agree or you don't agree with. Now, one that I'll throw out there: Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
100% it is. They're going to a Christmas party. It's a Christmas film.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Now,
no, it ended. I don't.
Just because it's set at Christmas, does it make it a Christmas film?
But he's going to a Christmas party. There's Christmas decorations everywhere. The whole reason for the film is because there's a Christmas party going on at the time. And even the bad guys say things like ho, ho, ho. Like, it's a Christmas film.
Personally, I agree. But it's always a debate. So, on on the premise that, for me, to be a Christmas film, it should be about Christmas. Home Alone is not a Christmas film.
But it is. It's set at Christmas. That's why his parents go away.
Set at Christmas.
And it's all sad because he's left alone at Christmas. And the party, the fake party does in the front room and stuff, that's because it's Christmas. It's believable. And all the tunes throughout, rocking around. It's all...
All that film teaches you is not everyone is as unlucky as the McCanns. They lucked out. They had enough kids spared.
It's not even that. By the third film, they should have lost their kids.
Yeah,
social services should have got involved after the first one. How did number 2 happen?
Yeah, that's quite bad, isn't it?
And once that did happen, number 3 happened. How
Shouldn't have been
have
happening
you
anyway.
still got your children?
Number 3 shouldn't have been happening. Right, is a toilet seat up or down? Now you cohabit, I cohabit.
Yeah, up.
You cohabit equally, I'm a little bit outnumbered.
No, I'm good because we got 2 bathrooms. So it's basically we've got one each.
Well, that's all right for you, middle class fucking Mick.
No, it's not. It's only a flat, but we've just randomly
toilet?
got. It's a bathroom and an ensuite, so it's like, right, she has the ensuite, I've got the bathroom.
There's one for shitting, one for pissing.
No, that's mine. That bathroom's all me, mate, and guests. So I keep it nice.
Well, traditionally, the argument's always been seats should be down for women.
If you're being polite.
Why do I have to lift it up to we?
Why do they want to lift it up to we? I think that's the question. It's down for women. Why? They just have to lift it up. They don't sit on it and piss on it.
Right, here's something that's just weird, right? It feels wrong.
Okay.
There is only one acceptable way of putting socks and shoes on. One acceptable way.
What?
And that is both your socks go on.
Yeah.
And then your shoes go on. There is absolutely no time ever to be putting one sock on, one shoe on, one sock on, one shoe on.
Why do your socks live where your shoes are? For that to happen, you've got to be either taking your shoes to your sock drawer to make that happen. Like, why? Or do you take your socks to the front door where your shoes are? Why is that even possible?
Who's doing it? More to the point.
I always say it.
Who's doing that?
Who thought milk was a good idea? Who did that for the first time? And admitted it to everyone else, and it became popular.
Yeah, that's true.
The sheer embarrassment of I sucked off my cow, and it tasted good. You lot should do it as well. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to toss off my cow, and I'm going to sell you what comes out, and it tastes so good. Put it on your cereal. Who did that? Who thought I'm going to make oats and that because it's good for me? It's a bit bland. Do you want some water? No. Let's touch up Daisy over there and put that shit on my cereal. Yeah. Why does that exist?
There's a lot of stuff like that, though, you can look at and be like, well, he was the first to try that.
A million things, but that one blows my mind.
Right, enough of that serious shits. What about all the good stuff? All the sport that's going on in life, mate. Summer. All sorts going on.
There has been as well. You've had the cricket, Ashes, tennis, Wimbledon.
Yeah.
As well as like all the transfer shits, obviously.
Got a bit of boxing on the horizon.
Yeah. Finally, they all made fights that no one wanted, but at least they're all fighting.
Yeah, at least we're going to get to see some. Yeah, it's looking good, man. Looking good. Obviously, like, mad transfers, knocking about, loads of football. But I'll start with the cricket, because I really like my cricket. I watch a lot of it when it's test match. Not a lot of people enjoy that format of the game anymore. I really, really like it. But it's the Ashes.
Yeah.
And it means something. So there's a bit of needle from the crowd, a bit of excitement. And it's really, really good. We're not doing so great, don't get me wrong.
Well, apparently we're playing well and then shooting ourselves in the foot. Like, we're dropping catches. You've got the Bairstow wicket that everyone was going on about. I've not watched one bit, but where I've been listening to a lot of TalkSport, there's constant updates. So I'm naturally interested. And I find myself, like, midway through doing something, hearing that we've got a wicket. And I'm like, yes. And then I realise, hold on. I've not even watched one bit of this. I've just followed it the whole way.
That's pretty much how it's gone.
It's Ashes fever kind of thing.
Yeah, it's pretty much how it's gone. It's been pretty nip and tuck. We've had opportunities to win things. They've took their chances. We haven't. We ain't been catching very well. And the phrase in cricket is catches win matches.
Yeah.
And it comes down to as simple as that. But again, we've got our boy Stokes out there doing some next level cricket.
Yeah.
just bashing balls around like he's playing a different sport.
Even though he's injured.
Yeah, he could barely move. He was just like, well, I can't really run. All I'm going to do is just whack sixes.
Yeah. Then I
And
ain't got to move.
And he didn't stop whacking sixes, mate. He's an absolute monster. They play this like thing, don't they? They call it Baz Ball.
Baz Ball, yeah.
And it's really different from any other cricket you've ever seen. They're playing
Because
the
it's
same
all
game.
out attack. It's basically, do you remember the really famous Ashes? And we had Kevin Peterson, and he was coming in, it was like a slogfest. He was just going for boundaries, left, right, and centre.
Yeah, to a
And
degree.
a lot of the cricket fan base and pundits and everything was like, no, you're too risky. Because a couple of times he got bowled out for like 23 or something like that because he was trying to slog it. But everyone was kicking off about it. Now, Ben Stokes has kind of worked in Baz Ball where everyone's on the slogfest.
Well, they're not on a slog fest. Everyone wants to score runs. They won't just try and like hit everything for 4 or 6, but they want us to play at shots. So
Yeah, but it's all out attack.
yeah, they'll try to their strike rate is what they try to increase on the ball because we used to let a lot of things go or block a lot of shots.
Yeah.
Look, you can just as easily get out on a block, nipping it off the side
Yeah,
of your
exactly.
bat than you swinging for a 4.
So go
and
for
knock
that.
it back. And they said we'd rather you take that on. They're told when to kind of speed that up or slow that down.
Yeah.
But when we're turned on, we've got some of the highest run rates going over, like
Yeah, mate.
in international cricket.
But
But
like you said, Stokes, he's killing it.
yeah, and he's putting in like weird fielding and stuff. He really is mavericking the shit out of this England team.
Mate, it's good. And the tennis as well. I didn't really follow it, but again, I kept getting updates about it. And apparently, this new dude who's won it, Alcaraz, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
He, Djokovic was saying he's like a combination of himself, Federer, and Nadal.
Yeah, man, kids are gonna they've got so much access to top level advanced coaching. They could literally mimic any player if you've got the natural ability to do it.
And
As long as you learn early enough.
naturally, I'll bring it back to football, but it's like when you see Ronaldo doing things for the first time, and now every player can do that as a basic
standard. Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Just evolve.
So the more you get superstars, the more generation comes up next and goes, right, that's how you do it. So that becomes the minimum. I love it. And you see it in tennis, you see it in cricket, like we said, from Kevin Peterson to now everyone's going through it.
Hopefully tennis gets a bit more exciting at like top level because the Williams sisters are gone. They just dominated shit for years. You've had Djokovic. You had the Spanish fella that's retired as well.
You know what you need? Live tennis.
Yeah, people just playing like crazy money. It got so popular this final because really I won for the ages, weren't it?
Yeah.
Djokovic losing this kid
First
coming
and second, didn't it?
that they had to close Henman Hill. It was all fucking going off. Not like going off, but everyone wanted to be there. Everyone's like, can't get any more people in here. Everyone's going to start knocking over there like £20 bottles of Pimm's and it's all going to go a mess. But yeah, they had to get security to stop people trying to get into Henman Hill.
Can you imagine coming all the way there, like all packed lunch and shit, and fucking in your "Come On Tim" t-shirt because you're sitting on Henman Hill, you want to get picked up on the cameras.
Hates it apparently, doesn't he?
Mate, honestly, he
Henman?
fumes about it. He hates the fact that he walks down the street and people shout "Come On Tim."
He was a miserable cunt anyway.
Well, yeah, they all
I'm not
are,
saying
mate.
Murray's like full of
Do you
personality,
know what
but
I mean? They
like,
all are. And there's no one I've heard of who's like, oh, the next best thing. Yeah, fuck it. We're going to be shit at tennis for about 5 years.
at least we still rule the boxing. Just about.
Yeah, well, you say like Fury does, but then AJ is more just a name, a prize fighter.
Yeah, well, we've still got Fury sitting on top of the crown, top of the
Yeah.
world, still. Although he's
Putting it
gonna,
up against an MMA fighter.
he's gonna get his belts taken off him. Not the back of this fight, but just because he's not fighting the people he
The
should. be.
mandatories, yeah.
Mate, this fight is with this Francis Ngannou. Ngannou is the hardest hitting MMA fighter they've ever had. Like they got him on a pressure per square inch.
Yeah.
They said it's the equivalent of getting hit by a mini car at 60 miles an hour. That's what the impact of his punches.
And you see Wilder did knock him on his ass and he's got a big blow.
If he hits him, he knocks him down, but he's got to hit him.
Yeah.
It's easy to say, yeah, I'm just going to hit.
But Tyson Fury, you're a fucking idiot, man. He made it difficult for the AJ fight and for the Usyk fight. And now he's risking it against an MMA fighter. So you are on top of your game, and you're deciding to put that belt on the line to someone you can't replicate in a gym.
Don't think the belt's on the line.
I thought it was.
No, I think this is just a fight, pay-per-view. I don't think the belt's...
Then
belt's
you're an
on.
idiot if you're going to get knocked out by an MMA guy. I'd love
But
it
it's
if...
money. Money this is going to make is going to be mental.
I'd love it if Fury had all the shithousery talking in his ear and that as they're boxing, and the guy just gets to the last round and it looks like it's going to go to the judges, and he's just like, fuck this, big spinning heel kick to the jaw, and
just fucks it off.
puts him out. Paramedics come rushing
Like a
in and
reflex
everything.
twitch, couldn't help himself.
But he's wound him up so much, he's just holding back on the kick every time, and then he just fucking unleashes him.
Well, you look how much money the Mayweather McGregor fight made. The highest pay-per-view takings in history.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
They both got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars out of that fight.
But name me one crossover fight since that you've been that interested in.
No, because it's become shit. It's not been no real
It's
legends
YouTubers
fighting.
and shit now.
Yeah,
Right?
these are a couple of like proper legends of their sport.
Yeah.
Two, arguably, of the modern era, the two greatest heavyweights in their individual disciplines.
Yeah, and definitely both brought the money in. And Mayweather risked losing his unbeaten record.
Yeah, he could have lost a lot more, but yeah, with Fury again, unbeaten record. Like,
you're an idiot. You're an absolute
annoying
idiot.
me that he's not taking the Usyk fight, and
then the AJ fight.
He can call the shots. He can say, look, this is what the purse is. I'm the champ. You want to fight me? He doesn't have to take these fights.
Well, he has to take the mandatories, and he should go for the unified with Usyk. 100% he should.
I think he will. I think he's just trying to get paid. And I think he knows there's more money away from those fights.
Then you're being a greedy prick. You're only taking the Saudi fight.
He's been a shit champion, man. The division needs an open division, and he's closing it off.
He's just only taking the Saudi fights. He retired already and then come out of retirement. He's probably just like, shit, I can make a lot of money in Saudi. Let's do that. And then
they're getting involved, aren't they? Throwing all kinds of money at football nowadays as well.
Well, look what they did to golf.
Yeah, do it with golf.
They're all unified now. PGA, Live Golf. But what they did to golf as well, they're all the crowd are allowed to cheer as they're teeing off. I play golf. Fuck that. Like, honestly, that could be my worst nightmare. You're standing on a tee ready to hit a drive on the first hole, and you've got a crowd around you with fireworks going off in the background. Mate, have you seen this shit?
It sounds like when they televised darts.
Thank you. Exactly that. They've made it. Everyone can shout out, cheer you on.
Yeah, it's better, man. Learn to play under pressure.
Fuck that. No, mate. It's not even the pressure. You're trying to focus in, and you're naturally taking in what everyone else is saying, and the fireworks going off.
Like playing a fucking classic Tiger Woods from 2002.
Fuck that. Honestly.
Arcade mode.
Nah, fuck that.
One other thing to talk about boxing is not often you get these fights. As in, the best two fighters of a generation fighting each other, both in their absolute peaks. There's a fight coming up in a couple of weeks. Bud Crawford versus Errol Spence.
Right.
And honestly, it's going to be like, the last time we saw something like this was Sugar Ray Leonard.
But I've never heard of either of them.
No, it's in a division you're probably not paying a lot of attention to be fair.
Again,
We've not had a lot of representation. Our last best fighter was Kell Brook, and he got smashed. He got retired basically by Errol Spence.
Right. Okay.
Like broke. You know that one where he broke his orbital bone?
Yeah.
That was Errol Spence. Yeah. Like fucked him up, man.
Shit.
And basically retired him. You got this Bud Crawford. I'll show you some bits like off camera, but yeah, it's the two absolute junkyard dogs. Well, one's a junkyard dog, one's an absolute pure technician fighter.
Proper boxer.
Yes, that's Hagler versus, Ray Leonard, where they just went at it in that first round. Just bang, 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 bang. And that was the last time you had two fighters in their weight classes at their peak fighting like that. This is going to be sick.
Okay. Yeah, no, you've sold it to me. I do love a bit of boxing.
It's like the equivalent of something like Eubank Ben for us, going back to the 80s.
Right, look, we've been beating around the bush, talking about all other different sports apart from football. Yes. So, where's best to start with this? I guess we haven't spoken about last season. So,
Yeah, let's wrap last season up. Really, it's been that long, isn't it? Jesus.
I'll let you go as the West Ham fan.
Well, amazing. Really is one way to capture it. Getting to see something I thought I'd never see in my lifetime. Don't care what the name is on the front of that cup. Like I've seen my
Yeah.
team lift the cup in it's a European trophy, and it meant a lot to the fans that were there, and it's given me some absolutely incredible memories. We also nearly got relegated. Pulled our shit together towards the end of the season, but we won that trophy. It's good. Before the season, I'd have wanted to finish top 8.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was your aim because you did it the year before.
Yeah, we had a
The year
6 and a
before
7
was like
year
your
before.
first year in Europe, and you still managed to finish top 8.
And we bought some tidy players. I thought we'd do really well. Didn't work out that way, but if your season don't work out and you still walk away with a European trophy, you can't be too upset.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that. It's a European Cup. I thought you played well in Europe. I don't know what happened in the league. You had a lot of things, and I'm not saying this because obviously you're a fan of them, but it felt like you hadn't kick-started, and then you came up against top 6 teams as such, and you did really well, and you just couldn't put it together unless it was a big game.
Yeah. Well, the standard of player the team that we was playing in that UEFA Cup, don't get me wrong, we should be beating
They
them.
were like championship
So
level
we're
teams.
playing better teams in the Premier League. But we got found out a little bit. We had a very predictable pattern of play.
Yeah.
People had figured us out over the last couple of years, and we've been on the slide form wise, good 6 months before the beginning of last season. So I think we finished where we deserved in the end. I think.
Yeah.
What did we finish? 14th.
It's something like that, around just under
Yeah,
mid-table.
we rallied a bit towards the end.
Well, yeah, I think Europe helped that as well.
What was
Because
you?
like, come on, boys.
What was you hoping for going into this season for Man U? What did you think would happen?
I said when obviously we got Ten Hag in and he was moving players in or out just before the start of the season, I said to everyone I know, I was like, I'll take top 6 because he's bought players like Malacia, Martinez, Casemiro came in very late on, I think.
It's probably a pod with us making some sort of prediction last year.
So I thought, well, manager's first season, taking over Man United is a big thing as well. How is he going to deal with that? He had Ronaldo.
He's in a mess, man. He was in a massive mess.
But I thought, yeah, I'll take top 6 as long as he can get the team to start playing, have a bit of an identity, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
After having the caretaker manager, Ralph Rangnick, that's a fucking shit show.
Yeah.
So I thought top 6. Then we started to play well, and there was a point where we was up there. We weren't far off. There weren't that big gap between the top 2 and
Took
the
a couple
rest.
of hidings though, didn't you?
Yeah, we did,
Fucking
but
couple of
the bounce
naughty
back
ones.
ability was brilliant.
Yeah.
Because when we did take a hiding, it weren't a run of bad results after. It was bounce straight back, boom, we was good. And we beat Arsenal and then lost to them. Did we beat City? Or I think we drew with City and then lost to them. And they were the big losses. Beat Liverpool and then lost to them like 7-0.
And from an outsider looking in, I reckon he's done really well. Your club was on its arse. You had Ronaldo ruling the roost, absolutely ruining, shooting that club to pieces from the inside out. You still had Pogba there, who was just like a dead weight round the club.
Pogba had gone.
No, he went
to Juve.
Ten Hag coming.
He went to Juve before Ten Hag.
Oh, did he? Right, sorry. But yeah, you had a bunch of players that not been well recruited, like all kind of thrown in. You got people like Martial in the team.
He did genuinely
Rashford off his game.
As much as you can do in one season, he threw out some deadwood, like you said.
Third, you finish?
Yeah.
Third in a cup.
Third and FA Cup, wasn't it? No, Carling Cup.
Carling Cup, it's cup.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, that gets me excited because it's like this guy knows what he's doing. I like the way we played. There was a bit of oomph about us. Casemiro crunching people.
It was a good signing,
playing
man.
well.
Good signing, but let you down a little bit towards the end of the season.
Martinez killing it like a little demon. Yeah, and it was good. It was good. And obviously, Rashford saving our season, smashing in goals.
That's 2 players I started the season with completely different opinions about. Martinez being one and Rashford the other.
You know me, I've always been a big fan of Rashford, and I'm like, nah, leave the boy alone.
I thought he was lost. I thought he'd gone down the Dele Alli route. I mean, we'll talk a bit more about that later, but
Yeah.
he comes back and has one of the seasons of his career.
Well, it's a new manager that puts his faith in him and basically said, look, how do I make you happy? And I'm pretty sure Rashford's gone, I want to play left wing. Right, cool.
Yeah, give me a
I'll
role.
make
I
it
want to
happen.
play. And the little fella coming in at the back, I was like, have a word. He's going to get absolutely
Fucking
ruined.
demon, mate.
Donned it.
Absolute warrior of a player.
You wouldn't know he's 5'9".
No.
You literally wouldn't know it.
I love it because you see us like play Liverpool the first time round, and Mo Salah, I think within 5 minutes he'd crunched him 3 times, as if to say, don't come near me, don't
You
come
need
anywhere
that.
near
Got
me.
to have it. You ain't had that in your team. People with character, and he's got bags of character, mate.
And then Casemiro comes
Bags
in and
of
does the
character.
same thing.
Fucking World Cup winner now, isn't he?
Oh, Martinez.
Martinez.
Yeah.
So that was a weird season having that World Cup in the middle of it last
But
year.
good though.
Yeah,
I
it
thought
was
good. I
was
don't
good.
think it killed the level of football towards the end.
No, and it's sick watching tons of football at Christmas.
Yeah, and towards the end of the season, the games were coming like weekend and midweek, so they could
Yeah,
get
you
it
got
all
a lot of
done.
them.
It was sick.
Got a lot. Yeah,
And-
so it was decent season, I think, for both for different reasons. Both clubs that I feel are probably on the up. You maybe more so than us, but you got your own problems. You got gaps to fill in that squad. You got players to sell, which you got to meet fair play.
Well,
What's happening
you
in
just said
Old
both
Trafford?
of us are coming on the up. So I'm going to start with you boys because I don't think you're on the up. You've just sold Declan Rice.
Yeah, which we knew was going to happen.
You nearly got relegated. The man that stopped that happening, you just sold.
It's an absolutely fair way of looking at it.
So
On the flip,
prove me wrong.
on the flip, what we have just done is won the first major piece of silverware in 47 years. To a team that's got some young players coming into it, a few coming up through the academy, got a bunch of under 21s bursting at the seams to break into that first team squad. So that puts down a little bit of identity there. People now, West Ham are on the map again. People know West Ham, we've just won a cup. They're going to see our name when we try and sign people. We've just got 105 million for Declan Rice. Now, I've got a big criticism of mine is we over-relied on Declan Rice. Everything had to go through him. And it was all about the Declan Rice show, which served us well because he was a world-class player, or is a world-class player. But now we're going to get to see how that squad copes without him in terms of players being asked to do a little bit more. The flourish.
Yeah.
You're going to see more. You're going to see
sharing the
Paqueta.
responsibility.
Yeah, we saw it took Paqueta 6 months to settle.
Yeah,
Well,
and then he looked good.
So the last 2 months of that season, he was best player in the league.
And when Rice took over, Souček kind of died off.
Yeah, so he comes back into it. We've got Gianluca Scamacca coming back from an injury.
Oh no, he's trying to force his way out.
No, it's not. It's all fake rumours. He had a meniscus tear, basically played with the whole way through when he played for us, and then he went off and had his injury treated.
Yeah, apparently he was saying about he wants to play in Italy and Napoli were interested or something.
Yeah, so I just think for us, we're hoping that Sullivan sells the club sooner or later. Moyes has got 12 months left at the club, unless all of a sudden the philosophy of his football changes. The results could stay-ish the same when we could finish 10th in the league, but if his football changed and it wasn't so negative and it wasn't so counter-attack based, he might stay another 12 months. But if he carries on playing this football, if we're not top 6, he's gone by Christmas.
Oh no, I don't know about that. Top
Yeah.
half,
Yeah, okay, yeah, top half
Top
maybe. Yeah,
half,
top
yeah.
half. If we're bottom half, yeah, that's fair.
but only if there's a replacement. I feel like they didn't get rid of him when there was all talk to get rid of him.
Yeah, there was opportunity.
Like the season just gone. I think they didn't do it because there wasn't anyone that was more of a guarantee to pull you out of it.
I don't think we'd be sitting here with a trophy.
I mean, there's no one now that could jump into the West Ham job and you feel would be a good fit. Who's available? Sorry.
Not that we know of. One of the other masterstrokes we have pulled off is we've signed the director of football from
Yeah.
Bayer Leverkusen.
Changes Noble's role a lot.
Yeah, and he was somebody who identified De Bruyne and brought him to Werder Bremen
Okay. Yeah,
Right.
I like that.
before he went to Chelsea, I think.
Yeah, he was at Werder Bremen, yeah.
Yeah, then he went to Chelsea from Werder Bremen, I think.
Was it no, or was it Wolfsburg?
It was one of them anyway.
Yeah, I
But
think
he
it was
signed him
Wolfsburg.
at a club when he was like unknown, and he's got a real good history of signing players, and he signed Xavi Alonso as manager.
Nice.
and they've been doing really well ever since they signed him.
Apparently, there's this little region in Spain where Arteta is from.
Basque.
Yeah. Xabi Alonso's from there. Sergio Busquets is from there. Who's the new manager that's just come in? Is it Tottenham? No, that's
Unai
Ange,
Emery?
isn't it? Unai Emery is from there as well.
Yeah,
there's
that'd be
another.
the
There's
best.
another manager. Is it Bournemouth's new manager? I think it is.
Might be.
Spanish dude
Yeah.
from the same tiny and like it's no bigger than like Southend.
Yeah, I think it's Basque.
Do you know what I mean? There's loads of top quality players that have come out of there.
Yeah, it's weird how it gets localised, man. Spain ain't the biggest country in the world. It really ain't.
Well, it's a lot bigger than us,
Yeah, it's all fucking farmland.
but
It's not Australia.
to have this little area, that's mental.
Yeah, it's mad how it can get localised. Definitely.
But the amount of stars that have come out of it. But yeah, so getting back to you boys, how do you spend the Declan Rice money?
You've got to be smart about it. You're not going to replace Declan Rice with one player. If you did, you'd be spending 105 million. Like,
Totally agree. Yeah.
so you got to use it smart. Look what you got in your squad. What identity are you looking to bring through in a player in the middle? Go out there and get your man. We need to get 2 players. Looks like we're signing Dennis Zakaria from Juventus. Got a couple of injuries. He was on loan to Chelsea last year, but he's an absolute mustard signing. Like he should be playing for any Champions League as a centre midfielder. But he just couldn't get into a Juventus team. Sometimes people are just stacked in one position.
So I've heard James Ward-Prowse be mentioned a few times.
Yeah, we kind of need to up our English quota because at the minute we are in European competitions. You do have to have a minimum amount signed players.
You've just got rid of Rice, yeah.
And yeah, so we could do with building them up. And we lost Noble the year before as well.
So also I've heard Harry Maguire.
This is interesting for me.
I think he'd thrive. Him and Kurt Zouma would be a great partnership.
No, he'd play in a 3.
Oh,
Aguerd, one side, Zuma the other side, and Maguire down the middle. He'll do well at us because the football will all be in front of him. You don't get behind West Ham centre-backs.
True.
We play deep. If you do, and you are going to beat us, you're going to beat us on the halfway line and you're in anyway.
I just think no responsibility. He doesn't come in as captain.
He would.
He won't come in for big money.
He would. We'd buy him as a captain.
Well, Moyes said today, I think it was, that he's not feeling under pressure to name his captain anytime soon.
You buy Harry Maguire, 30 years old, you pay 25 mil.
No, I think if you give him the captaincy and he'll fuck you up. It's too much pressure at a new club.
You also buy James Ward-Prowse. Again, 28,
Yeah.
club captain. But that's what we've got to think about, is what's leaving that club dressing room. We've lost Noble and Rice in 2 years. That's massive, massive dressing room banter. So you bring in another 2 captains, Maguire and Ward-Prowse.
I think it's about to get tough for clubs in your position where you're trying to get top half. That's your target, because Saudi, mate, they're coming in and just sweeping up not only players later in their career, but players in their pomp.
Yeah, this reeks of China money when they was in their pomp and they got flooded with
But
money.
they didn't do that much.
Not get these sort of players.
Benzema has just won the Champions League, isn't he?
34 as well, though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but leading the line for Real Madrid for the past how long?
Yeah, exactly.
Winning how many Champions League?
Yeah, exactly. Now his contract's up. What else is he going to do? Completed it.
Messi going to
to
Beckham's
America.
team.
Yeah, that's a well-trodden route, though, isn't it? Out to America for later people.
They touted that as soon as Beckham owned a team. I heard loads of shit about
Messi. When you
we're
turn
gonna sign
34, you're
people
signing
like
for him.
Messi. Yeah, mate. It's not a big one, but he has just won a World Cup.
Yeah, man.
Let's
That
not
was his
get it
World
twisted.
Cup. Told you, I'm happy for him winning that World Cup.
But he could have still could have gone to any team in Europe, and he's chose to go MLS.
He'll play for any team in the world.
Well, apparently so. So we've covered who you need to bring in. Us, the way we handled the De Gea shit.
Yeah, I think it's about who you need to get rid of more than who you need to bring in.
But De Gea wasn't top on that list.
I don't think it's been handled well,
It was
but
disgusting.
I don't think it's been handled the way the media's reporting it.
Probably not, but it's still wrong to be offering him a contract, then pulling that contract away and offering less money. That's
It
bad.
is a backhanded move, but they set a deadline for the contract they offered him on the original terms, which passed. So they didn't have to offer him another contract. They offered him another contract and went taking the piss here.
Yeah,
lower money. Don't sign them.
Yeah. But Onana looks pretty tasty.
He's a black De Gea. He can be brilliant in one moment and fucking throw him in the net the next.
Apparently, he's brilliant on the ball with his feet, distribution and shit.
Are you going to? Well, I suppose Ten Hag knows how he wants to play football. So
yeah, and he worked with him.
Was Martinez was at Ajax, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Onana came from Ajax youth or somewhere that
played there at the same time. And you got another one as well, Ericsson. He was at Ajax.
Yeah,
maybe a bit before Ten Hag though.
Mason Mount.
But he's going to be a great signing for you.
I've always said I don't get him. I don't get what he's about.
Watch him Cantona the shit out of this.
When Gareth Southgate kept playing him, it was like, why? Like what? What does he bring? And then when you think he's come to United, initially I was disappointed. It's like, it just feels like it was a big name that was ready to move, and it was like, oh, we must sign a big name. But the fact that I said he don't have an identity, and now Ten Hag's about to manage him, it's like, actually, I think he's going to give you an identity, and you'll be like a number one on the England team sheet with Rashford.
He'll turn him into a two-footed, technical
Ericsson. He'll replace Ericsson.
He'll turn him into that sort of player, playmaker, rather than because he's a little bit kind of inside forwardy, centre mid. Don't push on enough. He's not direct enough.
Yeah,
I think if you train him and say, look, this is what I want you doing, like an Ericsson, hurting people in the right areas, he's gonna.
He does pop up in spaces, but I just didn't feel enough about what he did with the ball. But now, if he pops up in those spaces and he can feed Fernandes, Rashford.
It depends on if Bruno's going to be a prick about it.
Nah, Fernandes, I think he'll be captain, 100%.
But is he going to cook with him? Because you get some players that he's like, I don't want you to be the number one. I'd rather turn and hit this rather than flick it back to you. And Bruno's a bit like that. He's spiteful cunt.
No, I don't think he is.
Do you want him as your captain? As your squad stands at the minute, would you have him as your captain?
I think he's very misunderstood from everyone who doesn't watch his games. There's so many times that he's the one working the hardest, and we've named players like Martinez, Casemiro, Rashford, and he's still like outperforming them. If you give the out of 10 ratings, he's hitting 8.5 nearly every game.
He's a good player. Sometimes your best players shouldn't be captain.
But I think he is for the...
He's not a leader.
Inspirational side of it, as in he works the hardest.
Yeah, but he's not a leader.
Oh, he's done alright this season.
The shit that he does on a pitch, he's like, mate,
he was captain for something like 42 games.
He's not he's not a role model.
Not to kids.
No, so he shouldn't be captain.
Neither was Roy Keane.
My eyes. I think you've got Casemiro, or you're missing a trick and not having Martinez. Martinez should be the captain.
The problem is we've got loads. Varane, he could easily do it. Luke Shaw, I've heard, as a shout.
No, I don't know. I think you might get into Maguire territory with that.
Yeah, but you wouldn't rule it out. I don't think you would. Luke Shaw's a lot more confident in himself, if you know what I mean.
I think if you're going to be a Manchester United captain, you need to be as big as that dressing room.
I think Casemiro, just give it to him for a year or two.
I wouldn't have it to Bruno.
But, mate, I think, honestly, we need a striker. That's our main thing.
So what do you think would represent a good season this season? Bearing in mind, I think this could, and we probably say this at the beginning of every season, it looks open. Like, I don't think you're restricted to...
I don't think when you're talking top of the table, definitely not. Because City had a transitional period where they had to learn how to play with Haaland. And they fucking did.
Oh, City are... All right, let's take City out of the equation.
City win it.
City are winning the league.
They've figured out how to play with Haaland.
Unless they fuck it up.
Or, hold on. Take that back a second. Gundogan's left.
Gadongadongs?
Yeah, Gadongadonks left.
I mean, Gungadan.
Good.
Gundogan.
Gundogan.
Gundogan. Gundogan.
Anyway, he's leaving. He's left.
He's left. Seen him in Barca kit today, actually.
Bernardo Silva.
Mustard.
Mahrez is getting offers from Saudi, and they've not been ruled out
He'll
yet.
go. No, but Silva's still there.
Bernardo Silva's looking like he's
wavering. Yeah, Mahrez will go.
So that's 3 of your treble-winning team that played a big part in that.
Kyle Walker might be going to
Walker.
Germany.
Slagged him off. Continued to play him. Won the treble.
Okay, all right. So potentially a threat could be the changing of the guard at City.
You have still got De Bruyne and Haaland, no.
And they've also got such depth.
And their defence is still there. So you've got like Akanji and Ruben Diaz and
They're mentality monsters.
yeah,
Pepe's a
they
mentality
are,
monster. Nobody will beat them in the league. They'll only fuck it up.
That's a big hole. Losing Gundogan as your captain, Bernardo Silva who's a regular, Mahrez who was on fire. Mind you, Foden slips in.
Didn't play a lot towards the end of the season. I genuinely think Declan Rice will push that Arsenal team up a level.
I think you're seeing that through West Ham glasses. I honestly think this does the same thing, whereas it rocks the boat a bit. Because
you're swapping Xhaka for Rice.
No, you're not. You're swapping Xhaka for Havertz.
No,
you're swapping Partey for Rice.
Okay, either way, they're 2 upgrades.
Partey was sick until about 3/4 of the way through the season. Then he fell off a cliff. So that plugs that hole. Have they signed a defender? Oh, Timber.
So they are improving.
Because Saliba got injured and they went off a cliff.
And I don't like Arsenal. I'll have it right. I don't like Arsenal for a lot of reasons. I don't like their goalkeeper. I think he's a cocky cunt. I don't like Arteta. I think he's a prick. He's a wind-up. I like him even less that they've now got Declan Rice, because I like Declan Rice. I wanted to watch his career. I can't watch him in an Arsenal shirt.
It's weird to me that he went to Arsenal because
London.
Yeah, but
only reason.
But they've only just had a good season once.
So it's left a little bit of a sour taste in people's mouths at West Ham, because he's always said, I want to go somewhere because I want to win trophies.
Yeah, so
should have gone Man City.
No, because you'll be Calvin Phillips and you'll have a shit season the first season like everyone else.
Declan Rice is not Calvin Phillips.
Jack Grealish didn't play great in his first season.
Not Jack Grealish.
Oh, he's on the par.
Declan Rice is, I would put him 1-on-1 with the best CDMs in the world.
Oof.
Easy.
Well, he's with Partey now.
Easy.
And I think that causes shit. Havertz and Ødegaard are going to get each other's way. I think Arsenal are going to get top 4. That's my prediction.
Yeah, it depends on other teams.
They'll get like 4th.
So you've got Manchester United, obviously representing themselves well last year. They could well do that again this year.
I promise you now, if we don't get a striker, we're looking at 6th. If we get a striker, a decent striker, then I fancy us for 2nd.
You've got to think Liverpool and Chelsea were nowhere to be seen last season.
Liverpool have made some brilliant signings.
Liverpool have made some brilliant signings.
McAllister. Who's the other centre mid?
Oh,
yeah. Bob the Russian builder.
Yeah, though.
Yes. There's someone else they've been linked with.
They've basically pushed Trent into midfield as well, which is a master stroke.
True. And they are looking at signing a right back. Kyle Walker to Liverpool would be hilarious.
Nah. Chelsea got Pochettino now. Like proper manager with a ridiculous squad to work with. But he's got a chopping off, so he's going to get loads of money coming in and can buy who he wants. I don't think Chelsea are going to go anywhere. I think Todd Bowley's royally fucked it. Newcastle, they're so debatable. Eddie Howe's a great manager. He's got some really good players in that team that are generating like a core from.
Yeah, and they've signed that centre mid, the Italian one.
He's supposed to be really good. So they remind me of West Ham in terms of like team mentality. They look a really together team.
They haven't spent big, and I think everyone else around them is as a standard. And they had one good season. This is the same as Arsenal. For Newcastle, the same. are on par with Arsenal. They finished the same place this season, and that could be they're probably the most diverse range of where they'll finish because they could easily finish 9th and 10th.
Chuck in Aston Villa, my outside bet to cause havoc this year.
Unai Emery knows his stuff.
They will cause havoc this year.
I'd give them a shout with Brighton around 6th, 7th.
Playing some outstanding football, and you've now got a new manager down there at Tottenham.
But, okay, yeah.
Right, next season's going to be fucking raw, bruv.
Yeah, but I still think, I don't know, I was going to say City ran away with it, but again, losing so many first-team players.
They're a machine.
They are.
They're a machine.
And I'll probably eat my words, and Haaland scores a hat-trick for the first 5 games and breaks every record ever created.
They've also got Haaland.
And De Bruyne.
It's just that he just settled into the Premier League.
Do you know what I mean? Settled in.
Oh, De Bruyne arguably now entering his prime.
He's literally, he could be like a telepathic magician genius who just picks the ball up and puts it on his toe every fucking time. So yeah, all right, City win it. I'm hoping United sign a striker, finish 2nd. Arsenal, I want to fall off a cliff, but I do want to see Rice do well. No, I don't. I want to see Rice do shit. And after 2 years, he signs for Man United because they're doing really good. And he goes and joins his mate, Mason Mount, who's killing it.
I like Declan Rice, but in a term of like wanting him to do well, only in an England shirt now.
Why did that not happen? Why did the Arsenal deal stall and Man United just lean in and go, we just signed your best mate, by the way.
Because you ain't got that money.
Yeah, but we'll be like, look, we'll make this happen.
105 mil is a massive amount of money.
West Ham will give you Scott McTominay, Harry Maguire, and 20 mil.
I'd have taken that as a deal. Ish.
Cheers in.
No, more. More than that. 50 mil.
Nah, get fucked. Harry Maguire's 40. Scott McTominay's probably around 40 because he's so young.
I'd go 30 for McTominay and 25 for
That's
Maguire.
80, 20 mil.
Not 55.
Well, anyway, why do you not lean in and do that and go, we've just signed your best mate, we need to get rid of some deadwood that apparently West Ham really like.
I don't know why they didn't. I know why Rice wouldn't have gone. It was purely based on London. You only wanted to stay in London.
Your best mate. And I want to be around my family. Cool. We will build an estate. Dude, Ferguson used to do that kind of shit. It'd be like, we'll build your parents a house.
The only reason he's playing for Arsenal is because Chelsea are in such a state. Yeah. If Chelsea was stable and this was a year on
I don't know, Chelsea broke his heart.
Yeah, if it was a year on into Pochettino's reign and Chelsea was stable and challenging, he'd have gone there.
Apparently Arteta was a big factor in it. But yeah, mate, I think for you boys, you've got to be looking at 10th.
Oh, anything in the top 10, as we've just listed. So if we go Arsenal, Man U, Chelsea, Tottenham, Newcastle,
Liverpool,
Aston Villa, Liverpool, that's
7.
Brighton, that's 8. That's top 8.
Wow.
And to say West Ham are going to do better than any of them.
Yeah, it's a big... But you never know. I love the fact it's always down to the first 10 games for me. Someone goes on a run. So for you boys, if you go on a run and you smash in points and you come out the gates for the first 10 games, it will set you up to be able to play shit for the rest of the season and still finish mid-table-ish.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It's always... Arsenal came out the gates and it was like, oh, we've actually got away from everyone, and they just kept that momentum going.
Yeah, then failed. Yeah, you're right.
Do you know what I mean? It's all down to that. If Man United would have come out the gates and not had the Brighton defeat and who was the other early one? It was like a team you'd expect them to beat.
Tottenham.
Nah, someone else. But anyway, like 2 really early on, I think within the first 4 games, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
We got tonked.
Ten Hag's first few games.
If that would have been wins, we'd have been up there with Arsenal. It's those first 10 games, mate. And I'm excited because it doesn't feel like we've had a break. This summer has been shorter than any other because of the World Cup, and I'm loving life.
Well, there's new things to get used to in the Prem for some of these teams as well. Granted, you can make more subs now, but Brighton have never played European football.
Villa.
Newcastle now playing European football.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah, that's
is.
free.
It is a test. You cannot play your strongest 11. West Ham are playing European football again, but at least we've had a couple of seasons of rotation.
You've got to have the squad for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
That's the
It's gonna
key.
be super interesting, man.
And you've got to let them not be too good that Saudi buy them next year.
So the only thing that's gonna be better than the Prem this year,
Saudi League.
Championship
The Saudi League, bruv.
or the Saudi League.
Honestly, look at the players that have gone out there. Did you see the video of Steven Gerrard?
What, the one where he's in training?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
do you want the ball? Do you want the ball? We'll call for it then. Right. Ball to the other team. No communication. It's like, dude, they probably don't
I
understand, what you're
understand a
saying.
word you're
They've
saying.
learned English, but you're Scouts.
You're scout, yeah. Just say you've gone there for the money. Like, don't give interviews going, yeah, it's an opportunity. They welcomed it, made me feel like family, rah, rah, rah. Just say I got offered a fucking fuck ton of money.
Yeah.
I was out of work anyway because I did shit at Aston Villa. They offered me a fuck ton of money.
Oh, no. Like, I'd dress it down. I'd be like, look, I'm looking to get back into football. They was coming up with, we're going to buy all these players and we're like, you can revolutionise the league. And it sounded appealing. And then they showed me the money. And I was like, actually, that's more than appealing. Yeah, I'm going to go and do it.
And you can sign your mate Jordan Henderson for $700 a week.
Yeah. And the checkbook honestly was blank. So I was like, yeah, all right. What's Messi doing? Going with Beckham? Oh, all right.
Hey, don't get me wrong, man. People's a people.
Benzema? Yeah, go on then.
You earn someone a lot of money for doing their job more than what they're used to. They're going to take it.
Crazy.
Going to take it. Granted, if he was at Liverpool and, just won a Champions League, he's probably not taking a job in Saudi Arabia. But
It
why not?
turns out that for the landscape of football, the Saudi League signing Ronaldo could have changed everything. Ronaldo kicking off in a Piers Morgan interview
Yeah.
and getting a move to Saudi.
Ten Hag coming in, mate. That happens. Ten Hag is responsible for the fucking Saudi League, mate.
No, Ronaldo. He's got a
Ten
lot
Hag
more
turned
followers.
up and went, you can fucking do one.
Well, no, because if Ten Hag would have gone to the Saudi League, you wouldn't be watching it. But Ronaldo did, so now I see clips. Right, what about predictions for relegation?
Who we got coming up? Luton.
Yeah, I can tell you a bit about Luton.
It's mental. Tiny
Sheffield
club.
United was the other one.
Sheffield United, yeah.
Who was
Burnley.
Burnley?
They
Yes,
won it.
that's
They're
it.
the ones that won it by a mile.
That's it.
Vincent Company.
So who's going down? Luton's going to be fun. Stepdad. They all live in Bedford. Her family.
Who the fuck lives in Bedford and who the fuck lives in Luton? It's just a dead out rubber zone.
Well,
Like,
apparently a lot. He's a proper fan, mate. Every time they seen him over the weekend and things, we go into a pub, we're watching the Luton game, mate.
I know they do a good sideline in vans.
But what about Kenworth Road?
Yeah, it's nutty, isn't it? It's literally people's back gardens. Like you're walking over their children's trampolines and stuff.
I'm looking at their dirty washing hanging out and all that.
Well, not long ago they had a plastic pitch there.
Well, apparently they've postponed the first 2 home games because it's not going to be ready for Prem quality.
Yeah, guess who their first home game is now going to be against?
Oh.
West Ham.
So
How's your luck?
what is it they need to get done? Is it like VAR and stuff?
No, it's more the structural side of things. You have
Oh, okay.
minimum stand capacity, minimum safety rooms.
Okay, they'll have a point to prove against you boys then.
Yeah, of
That
course.
they deserve to be
We're
in the
going to be.
Prem
Yeah.
back in their own stadium.
We lost fucking Forest shamefully last year. 1-0. And
But they were dangerous.
that was their first home game.
They were dangerous, to be fair.
Oh, we shot ourselves in the foot in that game, but
So, who's going down? I think Bournemouth go.
no, I don't know, man. You've got Luton are just going to get absolutely trounced. Like they're going to
think?
get drowned.
They did really well. Like, the points in the Championship were ridiculous. Vincent Company won the most with Burnley.
They'll do well, Burnley. I think they'll be down there or thereabouts.
But Sheffield United and Luton were second and third, I think, and they were really high on points, pulled away from the others.
Well, the only thing we know about Sheffield United is they came up before, did really, really well, finished really high, and next season they bombed out.
Yeah, but that was under Chris Wilder, because then they got even worse, and they were facing relegation from the Championship, and they got rid of him, and then can't remember.
I would say something like a cliche, like it's harder and harder to stay in this league nowadays. But I think last year was the first time that all three teams, Fulham,
Bournemouth. Yeah.
might have been, Bournemouth,
Yeah.
Fulham, Bournemouth,
Only just,
and
The first ones you said, Nottingham Forest.
Forest. Yeah, there you go. All stayed up.
So who's going down?
I'd
give you
really fucking like Everton.
Luton. I think Everton could go down. Luton would go down. And, you can't predict the other ones. And I know that's...
We ain't seen anything really, have we? Because you can have a little look at a promoted team and go, do you know what? They've got something about them. Or, do you know what? They've got nothing.
But I think it's a bit of a cop-out, but you don't know who's going to sack their manager, or Vincent Kompany decides to replace Moyes at West Ham in 3 months in, and you go, right, okay, Burnley are now fucked.
Message I'd learned from last year is get it done early. A lot of teams change manager.
Or don't, with David Moyes, for example.
Yeah, Moyes.
Arteta the year before.
Cooper as well kept Forest up.
Arteta, they wanted him out the year before.
Yeah, lost his first 4, weren't it?
First 5, I think.
Something mad. Trust the process.
Well, exactly that. Stick with him, man. Look at Roy Hodgson. Bring him back. Stick with him. Revolutionise his Palace. They're probably going down. They've kept him for another season.
Yeah, that was a bit mad. But they've got a lot of younger players, different style. But
that's all because of Vieira. Roy Hodgson is not going to get more younger players in, so he'll do all right for this season. Then they'll be fucked for another 2 years.
And they've lost Zaha.
Well, yeah. Where's he going?
I know he's free transfer.
PSG keep going on about him, but
He'll go Saudi.
no, I think. Oh yeah, you boys.
Won't come to us
Why?
because David Moyes.
Oh yeah, that was the whole Man United thing, wasn't it?
Come to your team and
Yeah, you two pricks fucked us up. Took us ages to recover from you two.
He was mustard at that point as well. Zaha. Young, so quick. Still he is. He always has been quick, but he was electric.
Then fuck the manager's
15
daughter.
million you paid for him.
Fuck the manager's daughter.
And only fucked Moyes' daughter and he didn't get a game. He got bombed out, sent back to Palace within 6 months, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, before...
Big loss as well he sold him for.
Before Moyes got sacked and he didn't last the season, so yeah, I think... Brutal, mate.
They always pulled the trigger too early on Moyes.
So basically, we think Luton's going to go down, plus maybe Everton, plus whoever fucks manager's daughter, because it will go tits up.
Yeah. So Haaland's probably getting bent off then, because Guardiola's daughter's mint.
Can you imagine?
She is mint.
50 goals a season? Nah, fuck him, he boned my daughter.
When you come to the end of the line with a buddy who is more than a brother and a little less than a wife,